members of the media, and to all those citizens tuned in via the various means. My name is Rishi Singh, Acting Assistant Superintendent of Police, here to hold for the regular Public Relations Officer. It is that today we have with us Sergeant Christoper Swamber, who has a presentation on the issue of vehicle theft. I now hand over to Mr. Swamber.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has noted an alarming increase in the number of vehicles stolen throughout the country. For the period January 1st to December 31st, 2017, compared to the same period in 2016, for this period, Larceny motor vehicles increased by 27%, as there were 807 recorded reports in 2017, compared to 633 reports in 2016. For robberies of motor vehicles, there was an increase of 63%, as there were 178 such reports in 2016 compared to 291 committed in 2017. The total value of larceny and robbery of motor vehicles stolen in 2016 amounted to $65,678,226. In 2017, that figure stood at $81,784,052. In 2017, of the 807 vehicles reported stolen by Larceny, 417 were Nissan vehicles, which represents 58% of the total. With the B13 105, B14 90, AD Wagon 66, Tidas 58, B12 36, and the Almira 28, being the main vehicles of choice in that category. The other vehicle types targeted by criminals are the Hyundai H100 and the Kia K2700, which are also known as the pickups, which together total 53. Mitsubishi Lancer with 41 reported cases, and the Toyota Corolla vehicles with 32 reported cases. There has been an increase in larceny of Nissan B13, 73 in 2016 compared to 105 in 2017, an increase of 44%. B14 60 in 2016 compared to 90 in 2017, an increase of 50%. Nissan AD Wagon 35 in 2016 compared to 66 in 2017, an increase of 88%. And Nissan Tida 77 in 2016 compared to 58 in 2017, a decrease of 60%. This increase is being attributed to the demand for parts and the ease to which the vehicles can be stolen. The parts these vehicles carry have become obsolete and are not readily accessible. With regard to robbery of vehicles in 2017, 291 vehicles were stolen this way. Nissan vehicles made up 56% of all vehicles taken by robbery. Notable vehicles which saw an increase included Toyota Hilux, which increased from 10 stolen in 2016 to 17 in 2017. The Nissan AD Wagon, which increased from 13 stolen in 2016 to 25 in 2017. The Nissan B15, which increased from 5 in 2016 to 17 in 2017. And the Nissan Tida, which increased from 23 stolen in 2016 to 30 in 2017. Through the efforts of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to reduce the incidence of larceny of motor vehicle, a downward trend is emerging. But this is not yet reflected when it comes to robbery of motor vehicles. For the period January 1st to May 5th, 2018, compared to the same period in 2017, larceny motor vehicles decreased by 46%, as there were 317 recorded reports in 2017 compared to 172 in 2018. However, for robberies of motor vehicles, there was an increase of 94%, as there were 62 such reported reports recorded in 2017 compared to 120 reports in 2018 for the corresponding period. Of the 292 vehicles reported stolen either by larceny or robbery in 2018, 143 were Nissan vehicles, which represent 49% of the total, with the B1321, B1421, Almira 18, Tida 15, AD Wagon 13, and Navara 9, being the main vehicles of choice among the Nissan make vehicles. Toyota vehicles were next, with the Toyota Corolla, followed by Hilux 4x4 pickup and 11 Fielder wagon. The total of the amount of Fielder wagons stolen was 6. There has been an alarming increase in the robbery of motor vehicles from January 1st, 2018 to May 5th, 2018. The Northern Division Police Division recorded 29% or 35 reports of the total reported cases for this period, with the majority of robberies taking place at the victim residence. Central Division and Southern Division both had the second and third highest number of robberies, with 23 and 21 respectively. The Eastern Division also showed an increase in robbery of vehicles with 5 reports. This was a relatively quiet division in the past with respect to robbery of motor vehicles. 49% of the robbery of motor vehicles occurred on the street, while 32% occurred at victims' residence. For larceny motor vehicles, 73 or 42% occurred at private property and 67 or 39% on the street. For the period January 1st, 2018 to May 3rd, 2018, 55 vehicles that were stolen either by larceny or robbery had been recovered. This figure represents 19% of the total vehicles stolen. For the period 1st of January to the 5th of May 2018, there has been a reduction by 55% in the number of larceny of motor vehicles in the Port of Spain division compared to the same period in 2017. It should be noted that the illegal vehicle industry is a multi-million-dollar industry. In January 1st, 2017 to May 6, 2017, vehicles theft total $29,465,595. And for the comparative period in 2018, the total was $27,469,850. There seemed to be a trend of victims being robbed on their arrival at home or when they are home, with the perpetrators entering through open doors. In light of the increase in the number of vehicles stolen by the method of robbery, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service wishes to remind motorists of precautionary measures which should be adopted. These are as follows. 1. Citizens should always be aware of their surroundings and always ensure that their vehicle is properly secured. Parking in isolated areas on the street or in parking lots should be avoided. Vehicles should also be parked in well-lit areas, or if possible, areas where there are functioning CCTV cameras. 2. When purchasing vehicles, citizens are to conduct the necessary due diligence to ensure it is not a stolen vehicle. Citizens must also ensure that the vehicle is transferred to you within the prescribed time, which is 7 days, and ensure that it is purchased from a reputable company or a person known. If members of the public require assistance, they can contact the Stolen Vehicle Squad of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to have the vehicle verified before their purchase. 3. Owners of vehicles which utilize coded electronic keys should be mindful that these types of vehicles are targeted to be stolen via robbery, as it is very difficult to steal these vehicles by the way of larceny. This is so as the key can only be duplicated by the manufacturer. The vehicles which carry these keys are as follows: the new model Mazda, the Mazda BT50 Ford Ranger, the Nissan Navara, Toyota Prado, the new model Nissan X-Trail, the Hyundai Tucson, and the Hyundai Elantra. There have been numerous reports from owners of these vehicles that attempts were being made to steal these vehicles when left parked unattended, but were unsuccessful as the thieves did not have the key. As such, these vehicles are instead stolen by way of a robbery, usually at gunpoint. It also should be noted that these vehicles, when stolen, have resurfaced as re-registered vehicles with the licensing office bearing different chassis number and a different engine number. 4. It is further recommended that vehicle owners place unique identification marks in a hidden location within their vehicle. These unique marks can be in the form of the initials, date of birth, special marks, etc. Owners should ensure that only they have knowledge of these marks. When stolen vehicles are recovered, the chassis and engine number are usually tampered with. By leaving the unique identification marks, officers can use this to match stolen vehicles to their rightful owners when the vehicles are recovered. 5. Citizens are also encouraged to invest in anti-theft devices where possible. Although it may come at a cost, these devices serve as a very effective deterrent. Anti-theft devices include GPS system, club lock, a small device which is fitted to the brakes pedal, gas locks, transmission locks, alarm system, kill switch, and the stealth configuration. It is also recommended that these devices should be installed by reputable companies. As citizens, it is your right to request any information from the business. If the company fails or hesitates to provide information, this behavior is a cause for concern and raises a red flag. With respect to robbery of motor vehicles, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service would like to highlight the main method used by criminals to commit these robberies. These are: 1. Confronting the victims in their driveway or gateway and stealing their vehicles, usually at gunpoint. Posing as passengers and relieving the driver of the vehicle which was for hire. Forcefully stopping victims while driving on the roadways and taking away their vehicles. If the driver poses as police officers in unmarked with blue flashing strobe lights, which you may suspect not being a police vehicle, and the occupant signal you to stop, do not stop, but immediately contact the nearest police station and inform them of the situation. Where possible, you should ensure to note the registration number, the make and color of the vehicle, and the description of the occupants in that vehicle. Also, entering the victim's residence, which the victims are at home, and relieving the victims of their vehicles and other valuables. In light of these criminal practices, it is advised that citizens be extra cautious when exiting vehicles in their driveway or by their front gate. Robberies which occurred at the victim's driveway or front gate were predominantly committed in the night time. In particular, during the time frame of 8 p.m. to 12 midnight, persons also ply their vehicle for hire should exercise the necessary caution and become aware of their suspicion when picking up passengers. Taxi drivers throughout the country have been targeted, in particular those who ply their vehicle along the Eastern Main Road from Samoa to Port of Spain. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service like to encourage citizens to be vigilant when conducting their errands and partaking in various activities that comes with the season. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service would like to remind the public of the following. Do not leave toddlers, children, or even elderly persons in vehicles unattended for a lengthy period of time. Moreover, citizens should not leave their vehicles unattended while it is switched on at any point, as this would leave the vehicle vulnerable to an easy theft. It has been noticed that citizens leave their vehicles switched on and hastily enter institutions to conduct business. This habit has also been noticed at gas stations and various ATMs as citizens leave their vehicles with the engine running to conduct transactions. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service would like to strongly advise the public against this behavior and to not leave their keys in the ignition and engine running and unattended for any period of time. Citizens should also not leave valuable items in their vehicles, such as large amount of cash, jewelry, laptops, and cell phones. Citizens should also be mindful while shopping not to leave purchased items in their vehicles for long periods. These items can be potentially targeted by criminals. Furthermore, persons leaving banks and/or financial institutions with large amount of cash should remain attentive and be aware of their surroundings, particularly when returning to their vehicles. Citizens should also stay alert to the possibility of being followed when leaving these institutions. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service would like to encourage citizens to to report any suspicious vehicles they may see parked in their neighborhood or community. These vehicles may be involved in criminal activities and can be used to commit a number of different offenses. Citizens can call 999 or inform the nearest police station if this situation exists. In conclusion, we advise motor vehicle owners that when you purchase a vehicle, you must ensure that the vehicle is transferred to you within the prescribed 7 days and ensure that it is purchased from a reputable company or a well-known person to you. The Stolen Vehicle Squad is willing to assist anyone who wish to verify the status of a vehicle before you purchase same. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service encourages persons to give serious consideration to the advice given with a view of making the environment safer so that family and friends can benefit. The prevention of crime is everyone's business, and we commit to a continued partnership with you, members of the public, as we strive towards our vision of making every place in our beloved nation safe. This can be achieved when every individual take a proactive approach in assisting the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in the fight against crime.